Okay, so today we're going to use Desmos.com for your graphing calculator. You will not have to calculate anything today. The graphing calculator will do all for you, which is pretty sweet. Okay, you can just leave them out, but yeah, you won't be using them. So I'm going to need your help today because I'm going to have to go through and go back and forth between my smartboard screen and the Desmos screen. Okay, so is everybody at Desmos? Does anybody need help getting there? Everybody's good? DESMOS. You're good? DESMOS.com. Getting there? Okay, so we're not going to use it. We're going to do your warm-up first, so there's no reason to be on it. Okay, once we get through the first 3 warm-up problems, then we'll start typing some stuff in there. Nope, just the graph. Just the graph. Everybody, A-okay. All right, here we go. It says, write in slope-intercept form. Guys, what is slope-intercept form? Awesome. Flows right off the tongue now, doesn't it? So what variable has to be alone? The y has to be alone, and we're going to go around the room here, and we're going to isolate this y. So, Dalton, I'm going to start with you. How can I isolate the y in number 1? Okay. Can you tell me what the new equation would be? Oh. Or negative 4x plus 6. You guys all remember that we want the x part to come first, correct? All right, Luke, I'm going to ask you, if I was to graph this, I'm not going to, but if I was going to graph it, where would I begin? Nope. What's my y-intercept? This is my y-intercept. I would begin there on the y-axis, and then where would you go? Perfect. Down 4 and then right 1. Everybody remembers how to graph, right? That didn't fall out of your head over Thanksgiving? Okay, up here to Braden, number 2. I got to get that y by itself, Braden. How am I going to do that? Good. Can you tell me what the new equation would be then? Oh, what's in front of that y? Equals. Am I allowed to put those together? One has an x and one doesn't, right? So we're just going to write them separately, and I want my x's to come first. How's everybody doing here? Cody, is that y isolated yet? How do I get rid of this negative out front there, Cody? By negative 1. How's everybody doing there? You see I took all 3 pieces and divided? Cody, can you tell me what the final equation would be here then? You guys see how that's a minus 5 on the end? Yes? Divided it? It would not. It'd be positive because a negative divided by negative is a positive. So now I'm back to Logan. Logan, I'm not going to graph it, but if I was going to graph it, where would I start? What kind of 5? Negative 5. So we'd start right here on the y-axis, then where would you go? Where? Up or down? Because it's positive, we would go up 2, and then we go to the right 1. Because this 2 right here, whoops, kind of erased it. It's like 2 over 1, isn't it? So we go up 2, right 1. Just like this negative 4 over here. I could say negative 4 over 1, so down 4, right 1. Good. All right, Mr. Stahl. How about number 3? How do I isolate the y? Nope. Not yet. I gotta get rid of this first. There we go. Can you tell me what the new equation would be? And I'm going to put my x's first because I wanted in y equals mx plus b. Okay. Over to Savannah. How am I going to isolate the y now? Everything gets divided by 2. Everything. What's the new equation? Okay, now folks, I'm going to make that as negative 5 over 2. Is this a word problem? No, so it cannot be 2.5. If you divide 5 by 2, you will get 2.5, but I don't want 2.5 here. Okay, slope is rise over run. Okay, I need a fraction. How's everybody doing? Dalton, if I was going to graph it, I'm not going to, but if I was, where would I start? And then where would you go? Down 5 to the right 2. How's everybody doing with slope-intercept form? Ready to start graphing these things? Yeah? Okay, so go ahead and take a look at your first question there. It says graph, give 3 solutions. Okay, well, the first thing I gotta do is graph. So do y'all have like a rectangle at the top there where you can type into? Yes? In that rectangle, type your equation. So we're going to switch over here to Desmos. And this is where I need your help. Can somebody read that back to me, please? -5. Is it? -1/2. Now, does everybody remember how to do a fraction? You just use a divided bar, right, guys? Do you guys see how I did that? Or the slash button on your keyboard. Now, when you do this, you guys see how the cursor is still down with the 2? I want the X to be off to the side, don't I? You got to push your over arrow and then put in your X. And then what's after that X? +3? Okay, how does everybody's line look? Does your line look like my line? Yes? Are we sure? Yes, ma'am. There is not a fraction button. You have to use your divided symbol. Either the slash on your calculator or on your keyboard, or the divided button on the screen. Now, yours doesn't have to be red like mine is, okay, but it should look the same. Okay, so what did the directions tell you to do after you graph? 3 solutions. Guys, solutions are points that are on the line. So can you find me 3 points that would be on that line? What do you think? Yeah, one for me? 0, 3. You guys agree? It's right there. They basically put it on there for you, didn't they? Okay, so on your paper, my first one is going to be 0, 3. That's one solution. Got another one for me? 2, 2, she says. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to look. 2, 2. If you put your cursor right there, guys, it should tell you 2, 2. So that's going to be my next one. Okay, can you find me one more? Got another one? 6, 0, he says, which would be over here. Perfect. Folks, are those the only 3 that you could have given me? No, there are infinite solutions on this graph. They just have to be on that line. Fair enough? Can we do it again? Okay, so I want you to X out that graph in Desmos. And can somebody read me the next one? Now, I need to remind you that you might have to rearrange your graph so you can see it. You might have to hit the plus bar or hit the plus button, hit the minus button, and move it around so you can see your line. Does your line look like my line? How's it looking? Because you just can't see it. Can you zoom out? See, you just gotta find it. Sometimes you gotta move it around a little bit. Okay. Okay, so how many solutions do I need, folks? I need 3 solutions. So can you tell me one? 2020. Oh boy, that's way over here. But maybe I should zoom out a little bit. 20, 20. What do you guys think? There B, right? 20, 20? Okay, write it down. Got another one for me? 10, 0. So if I look at that, 10, 0 is right there. They put a point on that one for you. And you say 0, -20? Yes? Yes, it's right there for you, isn't it? Are those the only 3 you could have told me? No, there's a ton of them. And you can use your cursor and find them. All right, let's do one more of these. X it out. And here's where I need somebody to read that back to me. Okay. Equals what? 5y. Okay, so there's my, again, you might have to, children. Do I need to act like your mother? No, I don't want to. Okay. So you might have to move it so you can see it. And it doesn't have to be green. It could be whatever color is on there, okay? But this is your line. How we doing? Okay. Does your line look like my line? Why are you guys looking at me so funny? Okay, so are you ready to give me 3 points? 0, 4, he says, which is right here. Okay, so let me go back. 0, 4. Got another one. 10, 10. Let me look here. 10, 10 is right there. Okay. This guy right here. Okay, now does everybody see this point? Guys, do you think it really is negative 0.667? It's going to be 6 repeating. Do you see how those 6s are probably going to keep going? They just rounded it? Yes, so that's what we're going to write. But I forgot the last one you told me. What was the other one? 10, 10. And this was negative 6.6 repeating, comma 0? What do you mean? They just rounded it. Like the 7 is just them rounding only to 3 decimal places. Do you see how all those 6s are there, though? I mean, it's going to keep going. How are we doing on that section, folks? Just fine? Ready to move on to the next section? Yes? Okay, so next section. How did the directions change? The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, right? And the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So I'm only asking you for 2 points here, aren't I? Do I need to get the 3 points like we did in the last section? No, I just need 2. One of them the x-intercept, one of them the y-intercept. So clear that out. Can you read me that first problem? Okay, so your graph should look something like that. Everybody doing okay? Yeah? Okay, so now, can you tell me, let's do the x-intercept first. Which one is the x-intercept? Right, where it crosses the x-axis? Does anybody need help with their graph? Does anybody's graph not look like this? Okay, so what's the x-intercept? That's not 25. 2.5. Okay, so my x-intercept is 2.5, comma 0. What is your y-intercept? You guys see that point right there? 0, 5? That is your y-intercept. And that's all I asked you for, folks. That's it. I'm telling you, this graphing calculator thing is cool. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yes. Exactly like this. Okay, clear it out. Can somebody read me the next one? Folks, chances are, if it doesn't look correct, you just typed it in wrong. So that would be the first thing that I go back and look at. How's everybody's looking? Is it looking like a line? Yes? Okay, so can you tell me, you might have to move it a little bit, can you tell me where it crosses the x-axis? Everybody see that point there? Where does it cross the y-axis? Awesome. So the x-intercept was negative 14, 0, and the y-intercept is 0, 7. Fair enough? Doesn't get much better than that, right? Okay. Clear it out. Type in number 6. Can somebody read that to me, please? All right. Are we doing okay? Luke, you okay or no? Okay. Dalton, you doing okay? All right, so can you tell me the x-intercept? Where does it cross the x-axis? And where does it cross the y-axis? Ooh. See how it's going to be 3 repeating? You guys see how I'm changing this? Yes or no? All right. So your x-intercept was what? And your y-intercept was? Okay. Doing A-okay, huh? All right, so does everybody see that number 7 down there? Because last and fourth period, some people kind of didn't see it. So what's different about it? It has a squared, it has an exponent. Now, that exponent is very easy to type in. You guys see this? A squared right here? This button on your, you have to pull up your keyboard here, and it's that button. So can somebody read that back to me? Now stop at x squared. Okay, you need to make sure that your cursor is not up with that 2. You see how it's off to the side? That's what we want. Okay, what's the rest of it? Ooh, take a look at that thing. That is not linear, is it? No, it is a U shape. These things are called parabolas. We will get into this like in March. Okay, it's called a parabola. Okay, but I still want the same answers. I want to know, where does it cross the y-axis, where does it cross the x-axis? Let's do the x-axis first. Isn't that down here? Guys, how many times does it touch the x-axis? Twice. What are those 2 points where it touches the x-axis? 3, 0, and 4, 0. Does everybody understand why I wrote 2 points there? Okay. Does anybody need help? Does anybody not have this parabola on their screen? It's good? You got the y-intercept for me? Where's it across the y-axis? Might have to move it. Right up there. 0, 12. You might have to shift it, zoom it. How we doing? Yeah? Now, does everybody see the next section? Good, we're not doing the next section. Okay, we are not going to complete the next section. I want you to flip it over. Now, all of that writing over there on the sideboard, this was the question that Tyler asked me to do, right? All that green writing over there? The whole point was to come up with an equation, wasn't it? What do your directions say to do here? The equation. What form do you think the equation has to be in? Yeah, this equation has got to be this, doesn't it? Well, it's a pretty decent amount of work to find the slope and then to find the y-intercept, isn't it? Guess what? Desmos will do it all for you. Are you ready? Now you got to pay attention. If you type it in all correctly, it'll find it for you. Are you ready? Okay, so on your Desmos, clear out what you got there. You see the plus button up in the corner? Hit it. You see where it says table? Click on that, please. It'll insert a table for you. Okay, now we need to put in our points. Can somebody tell me the first point? So over here where it says x, I'm going to put in my 9. Over here where it says y, I'm going to put in my 1. And then I'm going to hit enter or down, and it should put a point on your graph. Do you see my lonely little point over there? If you guys zoom out so you can see it, did it put a dot there on your graph? Dalton, how you doing? Do you have a point there or no? Yes, it should be at 9, 1. Can you see it at 9, 1? Over 9, up 1? Well, mine's just going by 2s. Yours is going by something else. Okay, so where's your point? You did not do what I asked you to do here. Put the plus. Hit the table. Yep, and type in 9, 1. Now, guys, what's my next point? So I need you to hit the down arrow. So it makes you another box, and it's 9. You know, you said it's 1, 9. All right, so now I have 2 points on my graph. Does everybody see those 2 points? Great. Those are your 2 points. Now I got to make a line go through them, don't I? That's the whole point here, isn't it? Okay, click in the rectangle below it. Now, folks, you told me it had to be y equals mx plus b, correct? So we're going to write a version of y equals mx plus b in here, and it's going to calculate the whole thing for me. Are you ready? Now look at your table. Do you see how it on the top of your table has x1 and y1? So instead of using x and y, we have to use x1 and y1. So start with y. Type a y in there. Okay, now you need to put in a little squiggly bar.